Now it's all up to Wolferino and Radon's. Wolferino with a frag, and soon BG and Stark have to go for the retake at this point.
Yeah, Bomb's going to go down 2-on-2. Soon is already quite low, but if he can land a quick shot with that AWP, that would make a huge difference. And you can see him trying to work the angles. With that smoke going up, that's actually denying him quite well. And it goes through, but doesn't do all that much damage. So as the time ticks away, Venatores will themselves have to commit forward, and they will have to push straight towards the FlushFanclub players. And actually, it looks like they might not do that. Soon is backing off, and Stark has also gone for the save. This is a really weird decision when you're in a 2-on-2 like this. You would think they would at least attempt to retake that B site with defuse kits, with plenty of utility to play with. There's at least a kill for Soon, but they're going to give up on this round, and I don't know if Venatores actually have enough money to buy up into the next one. Now that Soon gets those 2 kills, though, it probably will be worth the force, because FlushFanclub themselves, of course, haven't really saved too much. But yeah, really weird decision by Venatores. I don't think I like that. You know, the 2-on-2 retake on B, it's certainly doable, and you can see here their money isn't exactly great. They at least get a decent buy together, but FlushFanclub themselves will have pretty much a full buy on their side, although Fella may be misreading things a little bit here. He's gone for the Mac 10 up against the force here from Venatores. Oh no.
Yeah, okay. Oh no. That was not supposed to happen. And yeah, that was some weird decision making from the Venatores side, especially as Stark was so close towards that B bomb side. All he needed to do is just wait a bit, and he could have gotten for the frag on towards the player towards bench. So odd decision making from Soon and Stark, but I'm still guessing that was a team decision in the end. 2-2 being the scoreline here. It is not looking too shabby for both the teams. This is still the very start here on this first half here on Mirage, so anything can happen, and it's still rather hard to say who's going to be taking this map at this very point. FlushFanclub, though, I think it is still important to note that even though Phil is with the Mac 10, the rest of the players are with those AK-47s and Oaths, so they can be deadly. Radona spots on the player to pathetic towards the bomb site. He's alone, in fact, so he needs backup as quick as possible, but here comes Soon with the op. It's a second kill for him, maybe a third possibility for the third. Here comes the third, and not the fourth. It's actually pathetic with a kill, so great hold there from the CT side. Soon doing an absolutely splendid job there towards the short. And now FlushFanclub, they're not doing so hot on the money. Eco seems to be the case here for the T side at this point. And expect a proper buy here on the 7th round, I'm presuming. So if they can get themselves a bomb plant, that would be great. But Venatores themselves, this is a great opportunity for the City side to actually get some momentum rolling, get some rounds going at this first half here.
Yeah, it looks like the previous 2-on-2 retake that they didn't go for is still going to be fine, because in this next round they win it straight back, so they force FlushFanclub to the low buy. We're just going to see the pistols try and sort of scrimmage on towards that A site. It's not going to be too likely to succeed, especially as Soon will rotate over with the AWP, and we've seen what he can do with that weapon, holding towards Palace. Considering there's only pistols for the Lithuanians to work with, you can see what that means for them. Already there is the first kill. Rodonis finally gets one back, but trades coming back and forth. Fella also found at least one frag, but it will be shut down quite easily. So 1 or 2 kills for FlushFanclub. They won't be too disappointed with that, because of course it was very little investment from them. Now here come the AKs again. However, with them continuing to sort of be on the back foot in terms of money, they're still not going to be able to afford an AWP, even if they wanted it. So they're just going to have to go for 5 AKs and not that much utility. So the question becomes, again, do they try and go for that mid control that's worked pretty well for them so far with this limited utility? Because it could be hard to hit a site if you use, you know, a lot of these nades towards mid early on. Seems like they are still going to be focused on that, though. And Soon rattles off a shot, but I think he's going to be forced back elsewhere, although Wentox, pushing through aggressively, catches Tesek off guard. So yet again, FlushFanclub are able to gain mid control early on. And it seems like Soon is going to come over and maybe try and get that pick back, but he's not going too aggressive just yet, and with the smoke coming in, I don't think he'll be able to find too much. However, actually, the rotation is heavily over towards mid with 3 players. So Petishek takes a fight, wins it straight back, and we are down to a 4-on-4. And look at the reaction from FlushFanclub. It looks like they're going to group up and maybe try and hit a bomb site.
Yeah, they're probably going to try to be hitting those bomb site at this point. I mean, it's a very good point you mentioned there. They have been wasting too much utility towards that middle portion of the map. Already they deployed 3 smokes with only 2 remaining. Pushing onto the site, the A bomb site might be that tad bit more difficult. The nade is not going to finish off Fella. Pathetic though, 1 point of health, so him surviving is a pretty lucky factor for him. But Venatores, they're expecting an A play at this point. They're actually pretty much okay. Pathetic is rotating back towards. Oh no! Now they see the smokes being deployed towards the A bomb site. So Venatores know this is probably going to be an A hit at this point. Feels us trying to spot out as many locales as possible. Ventox with a kill. Star still surviving, but Ventox jumping up to get some kill of his own. And now with the bomb plant coming in, Pathetic. Oh no! They trade places. In fact, and now it's all up to Soon in the 1 versus 2. He's got the op, but he does have a defuse kit as well, so he's got time to work with. But they know where is he coming from. In these positions from Fel and Rodonas, there's some pretty good spots right here. So Luna is going to be having a pretty difficult task up ahead of him. Makes noise, doesn't see Rodonas as of yet, but it's going to see the shout. Oh no! The quick switch, it doesn't work out. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do. Probably switch to his pistol, but it simply doesn't work out in the end. And the pause coming in as well from Venatores, possibly a bit of a more technical issue, you could say, Hawka.
Yeah, it might be the case. We've seen one of the players drop from the server. I think it was Soon. As soon as that happened, he dropped from the server. So maybe there was some sort of issue at the end there. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, that round was actually really quite interesting. You know, FlushFanclub, after they go back to group up towards A, I thought they might have been in a bit of trouble because you saw they did only have 2 smokes to take the site, but they decided not to bother smoking stairs, and that seemed to be the right decision because Venatores really couldn't react to that. You know, smoking off CT was hugely important. I think there were 2 players there for Venatores. And FlushFanclub also sort of, after the smokes got up, they did manage to get the kills that was really important for them. So that worked out for the Lithuanians. You know, even though they didn't have any nades to work with after the bomb went down, they still managed to hold pretty easily just by fragging out and being in good positions. And now it looks like Venatores themselves will go for a double up setup on their CT side. Patishek also buying the second one alongside Soon. So this is quite a big investment from Venatores, and you know, a quick look at their money shows that they really don't have too much left in the bank. So a round loss here would yet again cost them, but it seems like also FlushFanclub, you know, don't exactly have a perfect buy with Vilsas down to a Mac 10. The fella himself also has an AWP, so there's a lot to take into account in this round. This is the first AWP port up on the T side. It seems like already mid control is going to be the aim at the start for FlushFanclub yet again. We see Wolferino going aggressive, and he finds that first frag yet again towards mid. That's something that Venatores have consistently sort of lost out on early in these rounds, and well, we'll have to see if they can recover this time because Patishek is holding with his AWP over towards B-Apps. So they're going to leave him solo towards this site. And there's Star getting 2 kills towards mid. That swings it straight back into the favor of the Poles. Very well executed by him to give his team a man advantage. And now, again, FlushFanclub, I mean, they don't even really have mid control. They're going to go for it now. But the question becomes, you know, can they really succeed here with this man disadvantage? It seems like they are going to try and push in towards connector, and Ventox needs to win this first fight, otherwise they're going to be in real trouble. Here comes the push, and there is a quick headshot from Ventox. He does get forced back, but now we're down to a 3-on-3, and this could go either way, especially as Vilsas gets yet another kill for the Lithuanians. They actually swing it back into their favor now as they go towards B.
Yeah, and actually now they're going to be trying to hit the B bombs. So Pathetic is still with the op here, and he's rattling off shots. Picking up 2, in fact, and a third is a possibility because, yep, there we go. There goes the third as well because, I mean, that was actually a very decent try there from the FlushFanclub side, but when they just tried to go for the push towards short, I mean, soon BG was in a great position at least to get a single kill. In fact, it gets all free in the end, so great position there from Soon. And actually, you know, towards middle, we saw some decent teamwork there from FlushFanclub. Actually, one of the players asking for a flash to pick towards connector. That'd be Ventox with a kill towards connector. And again, the player in connector from the Venatores side as well, going for a push. Trying to go for the refrag indeed, but simply was not successful at doing it. But I mean, seriously, credit to Soon. Great hold there towards the B-bomb set. And FlushFanclub on the eco here. Venatores in a good position to pick up around, you could say, but you know, in the positioning from the T's, they should be in a position to maybe get a bomb plant, I think. Might be, but
yeah,
all 4 players got to come out from the same spot, and that might be that tad bit more difficult.
Yeah, they didn't even really have that much utility. I don't think they brought up anything in terms of nades. So the push comes through, but it is instantly shut down by just Stark and Soon. And yeah, in that previous round, the double AWP setup seemed to make the difference. You know, they had that secondary AWP over towards B, just holding by itself. They were confident to leave it solo holding that B site, and that did work out for Venatores. Now FlushFanclub themselves will have a buy yet again. However, as we've been saying, you know, fairly often, FlushFanclub's money has really been a bit questionable. You know, you can see here they're still lacking a little bit in terms of utility, and Venatores might go for some mid-aggression themselves here. This is going to gain them information early on if they go pushing up past this smoke, because they'll realize there's no one towards mid. However, the question becomes, can they rotate back towards A quickly enough? Because you can see on the minimap right now, FlushFanclub seem to be lining up this A play, and as soon as this smoke fades, it looks like they are ready to go bursting on towards that A site. It's going to be difficult to regain control over from connector back towards A if the smokes come through. It seems like FlushFanclub have gone full this smoke execute. Soon it will be smoked off, but look at the timing. He gets the shot perfectly through the smoke for the first kill. There's a kill for Wolferino, so they will still try to take the site, but Stark is still lurking towards the back of the bomb site. Can he make the difference? He only gets one kill, so that brings us down to a 2-on-2 after all the trades come through. And Petishek spots the man on the edge of the fading smoke. That is a huge frag, because now Fella is the only man left, and he doesn't even have the bomb plant to work with. So Venatores, despite not really having too much of a presence towards A at the start of the round, they managed to recover well. The smokes sort of don't really work out for FlushFanclub. They didn't really gain site control early enough. And it really seems like now Venatores might just sort of press on and really get a strong CT side on their favor.
That's possible. I mean, it's a bit dissatisfying, I'd say, from the FlushFanclub side. Even though they had so much utility, they could, and Molotovs as well. They could have Molotov some of the more basic positions like Dark, and still they just didn't deploy their smokes in the end. Surely they smoked off 2 positions, but they could have also smoked off jungle, and they would have had much less angles to clear. So now we're seeing them back in the eco here. Not expecting too much here from the T side, especially as they lose 2 of their own so quickly on here. And they've still got the bomb, at least, and they are expecting some sort of push. At least feels as is expecting some sort of push, but not seeing anyone as of yet. So, you know, if they're able to get a frag here, that might be kind of good. But I mean, Venatores, they're building up that economy, and looks like no, it's not gonna work out for Wolferino in the end. So yeah, they're building up that economy, and look at this, with 5 players surviving here for the city side. Look, their money. Pretty much every single player is above, you know, 7 grand. You've got Tetzik and Stark lagging behind in the money department, but worst case scenario, their buddies can give them a drop. So at least they've got that going for them. Round as well. FlushFanclub now, they've got only 3 rounds here on the T side. They can definitely use at least a couple more rounds here to make things more even.
Yeah, they have at least got, you know, proper full nades this time, so that could be enough to make the difference, considering they're using a fair bit of utility to gain control of mid early on. You know, that's fine, as long as they still have utility left to use later into the round. And you can see here, it looks like they will. Ventox getting blocked a little bit by his teammate there, kind of stuck out in the open. He takes some damage for his troubles. Again, we're going to see Petishek holding with this AWP towards B, so that's allowing the rest of Venatores to more heavily stack over towards the A side of the map. You can see right now there's so much, you know, action sort of towards mid. There's a ton of players just kind of sitting around, but no fights happening just yet. It looks like FlushFanclub are going to lean over towards B. Tetek is in towards ladder room. So if that push does come through towards that site, we'll have to see if Petishek can do the work on the hold again with his AWP. You can see SoonBG with the other AWP is also peeking towards ramp. He's gaining information, but with 55 seconds left, the push is looking likely to come through towards B, and there is Petishek to get that first kill. But now the question becomes, do the terrorists overwhelm? Because you can see already Tetek caught off guard, trades back and forth, but Petishek is actually somehow still alive towards the site. As the push continues, we're down to a 2-on-2. Dark finds another frag, and there is the second. Well executed with 2 headshots to secure it for Venatores. And yet again, you know, the B hold, despite looking a little bit weaker for Venatores, they managed to hold the site, and, you know, they're getting the kills they need.
That is true, and I mean, you've got to give props to Patirik. That is a very nice angle to be holding from. It is very hard for the T-side player to be spotting out someone holding that position with the AWP, but as long as you hold that position with the sniper rifle as a CT, spot out at least one guy coming towards the B bomb side, and you are able to fall back, you've pretty much done your job. And if you get a kill in that area as well, that's also a pretty damn good thing. So now, I mean, FlushFanclub, they've tried securing mid control. They were pretty successful at doing so, but now it looks like they're gonna go back to the execution, and they're gonna be executing here towards the A bomb site. A couple of smokes being deployed here, But where's the smoke for jungle? Where's the smoke for CT? Where are the smokes here, FlushFanclub? They're just gonna try to push on here, and they're getting slaughtered at this point. 5 players surviving here for Venatores and Stark. Nice 4K coming in from him. And FlushFanclub, I'm pretty sure they're in a horrible state of mind at this point.
Yeah, I don't think Flusher would have been a massive fan of that play. Let's just say that. It was a really awkward buy from the Lithuanians there. Like 2 of the players fully bought up, and then a couple of players just went for pistols. So they really didn't have like any utility except for 1 smoke. Just kind of seemed sort of disjointed. It seemed like they didn't really know what they wanted to do. So they will at least have a decent enough buy here with a couple of Galils on towards the players that forced previously. But of course, soon towards mid with this AWP is clearly feeling confident as he's going to go aggressive. Elsewhere, it's actually Wolferino to get that first pick over towards mid. And I think Soon went for some aggression, but decided to fall back after spotting out some opponents. But look at the B play. Petishek yet again is going to be in trouble. He goes to the pistol for the first kill with just the AWP to play with. There's Wolferino for the trade, but in comes the nade, back down to a 2-on-3. And finally, it looks like FlushFanclub with the quick B play will be able to gain control of the site. As we were saying earlier, that this looked like the area of the map that might be weaker with just the AWP of Petishek holding. So FlushFanclub take advantage of that, take the site. And now it looks like Venatores might not even go for this retake.
Well, that'd be odd if Venatores don't go for the retake. I mean, surely they've got enough money to go for this one. So finally, they're coming in for the retake, but it is just not successful. Stark, I think he tried to make his way through apps while his teammate tried to go for kitchen, and it took some time. But surely, if they wouldn't gotten the kills quick enough, then they would have had time for the defuse in the end. But either way, not to take anything away from FlushFanclub, I mean, those are some nice kills coming in there towards the B bomb site, finally getting themselves around here, and finally stopping the winning streak of Venatores. 10-4 being the scoreline. It is still somewhat decent for FlushFanclub, and looks like they're going to try to what worked previously, that is rushing towards the B bomb site. But Dawn is finally going to be getting that frag, and now the retake should be coming in. Tetsik though, Tetsik with 3. This is looking very good for the CT side, and Tetsik with a 4th one. And actually, it's getting completely crushed, the FlushFanclub side. They tried to go for what worked previously, and they get completely destroyed. Definitely not a confidence booster, and Venatores are going to be quite satisfied, I'd say, with the 11-4 scoreline here.
Yeah, definitely. That round was kind of a bit weird from FlushFanclub. Like, they made a lot of noise before they even pushed towards the site there, as they were pushing early. So that kind of just allowed the second player to stick around, and you saw what difference that made. You know, spraying a ton of players down. It looks like we will have Tetek buying up a smoke and a Molotov. I was looking at Venatores pistol strats recently, and it seemed like they had a couple of players go towards mid and split towards A. Here comes the Molotov, then the smoke came towards B short, as it will. The Molotov didn't quite land, though, so that could really put them in trouble, but they're just going to run straight through connector and try and hit this A site. But already Wolferino will get the 1 kill. It seems like Venatores are making ground. However, here comes Fella for the flank. There's the 1 kill. He's got another teammate to help him out for a frag. It's just Petishek left alive, and the frags will eventually come in favor of the CTs. So a very important pistol round coming in favor of FlushFanclub. They keep their hopes alive with this CT pistol win. I mean, we just saw Venatores have a great CT side themselves, so if, you know, FlushFanclub could recreate that, which is certainly a possibility on Mirage. They're not quite out of this one just yet, but they are still, of course, a little bit behind.
Yeah, they're going to be just, you know, far away for, say, 6 rounds at this point, but, you know, there's always a possibility of the comeback. You've got to admit, Venatores, though, they get themselves a bomb plant, just like FlushFanclub did in the first half, so they've still got a fighting chance here. Venatores, same could be said for FlushFanclub as well. I mean, this is a very, very good possibility for the CT side to actually get that momentum going, because, you know, they've got only pistols here, the Venatores side. They're going to try to go for the bomb plant, but it doesn't look like they'll be successful. Stark with a kill, but is that kill going to be enough? I hardly doubt it. So now, pretty much, Stark gets a second, though. But he gets finished off with a nade instead. So 11-6 being the scoreline. FlushFanclub picking up 2 rounds in a row, which isn't really that bad, but their buy, it's not going to be looking the best buy out there. I mean, FAMAS, UMP, oh, and AWP. All right, this is good. This is good for the CT side.
Yeah, it looks like they have decided to invest up pretty heavily, which is, of course, important up against the full AKs of Venatores. Looks like the Poles themselves are looking towards mid early on, at least with a couple of players. Out comes the flash. Fella is holding here with the AWPs. They have to be a little worried because they haven't smoked off window just there. There goes the smoke through to window, however, so I think Fella will not be able to get anything done for the time being. He's going to be forced to reposition, but in the meantime, Stark goes aggressive towards B. He was all by himself there. and that's going to cost him his life early on. Kind of a strange decision. So the push comes through towards Connector. Radon finds yet another kill for the CT side. Tessek's going to go aggressive, but Fella gets another frag for FlushFanclub. They're all just stepping up with a kill each on the CT side of things. But Fella extends that to a second kill with his orb, leaving Just Soon alive. And yeah, kind of some weird decisions from Venatores, you could argue, as Ventox finishes things off. But FlushFanclub, I don't think will care too much, because they will pick up yet another round and continue to keep the win streak alive.
Yeah, the win streak continues here. Make that 3 rounds 0 at this point, and some very interesting, yeah, like you mentioned, some very interesting decision making from Venatores. They try to go for the individual duels, probably feeling confident from that first half we had earlier, and they get completely shut down. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be having a bit of a different game plan coming into these next rounds, because I mean, beforehand that just worked out horribly there for the T side. So probably going to be trying out things differently, maybe going to be playing things more slowly, playing more as a unit. Luna, though, or to be exact, soon BG, he should be spotting out a player window. He's got backup, but as well as the player in window from the CT side has got backup. So this is going to be interesting how this one turns out to be soon. Probably going to try to go for the kill, and they're successful. Dark PSN with 2, in fact. So now the window player is getting completely taken down of the equation, and now they're going to be having a bomb plan. Soon BG with a frag again, and now this is looking horrible here for the FlushFanclub side. They've lost an op, they've lost a gun, and in fact they lose 3 players. Make that 4 players in the end, and make that 5 in the end. FlushFanclub completely losing that one. How did this happen?
I mean, I don't even know what that was. You know, Venatores just kind of jumping through, get the headshots with the pistols. That was 2 rifles recovered just like that. And the round is basically over at that point. They used those 2 rifles very well to convert with further kills. And now it looks like both teams will be buying up themselves. I mean, that's just one of those rounds where, you know, the pistols do all of the work. It looks like, again, Venatore is going to go towards mid early on. Smoke's coming up. And I think mid control will be gained quite easily here. You can see on the minimap, FlushFanclub can't really look towards mid because those positions are smoked off. So that's 3 players out mid early on yet again for Venatores. And quite often, you know, for many teams on Mirage, as we often see on the T side, mid control is the aim at the start. And look at Dark, he's pushing through Connector. That's a huge risk. He's going to try and get the opening frag, but doesn't quite get the timing right on the smoke. So that allows Fella to open things up. And again, Venatore is going for some solo plays that haven't really worked out all that often for them. You know, they grouped up as a team in the previous round and they managed to sort of overwhelm the players with just pistols. However, as soon as they get the buy back in their hands, it seems like they try and make some individual plays and it doesn't really work for them. And now with a minute left on the clock, they have to play from this man disadvantage. It looks like the bomb is leaning over towards B, but the team is certainly not all that much grouped up just yet. It might be Petishek trying to sell this fake towards A. We'll have to see if that is the idea, because already the push is also coming out towards B. So with 40 seconds left, I mean, what is the game plan here for Venatores?
Yeah, it's interesting to note, but look at the frags. They're actually going in favor of the Taurus, so now things have definitely turned on its head, and actually they should be even getting a bomb plan without any sort of consequences at this point. Ventox and Fields, I'm pretty sure once they hear the bomb being planted, they might as well try to go for this one.
Yeah, they're going to get the bomb down. I mean, I don't know what just happened, to be honest. It seemed like they were all just spread out and 1v1 fights, and Petishek will extend that with another frag, so Filtsas will just look to save the AWP at this point. Again, like, I don't really like particularly how Venatores played it, but at the end of the day, they got the frags. That's all you can ask for them, and that's going to be enough for them to gain control of that A site. You know, if they are comfortable in taking these one-on-one fights, which seems to be the case, then clearly they are happy to just kind of spread across the map and try and make plays by themselves. And that has been enough for them in this round, at least. They will look to hunt down this AWP. Filtsas, I think, will be falling back to safety, but Tetsek tries to deny it, won't be able to. And it looks like Petishek takes a bit of damage from the bomb, but he is also saved. So guns will be saved on both sides. The FlushFanclub really don't have much money to work with now, so saving that AWP will at least give them something to play with. And other than that, they're basically, I think, just going to have pistols here. So this isn't looking great for them, but let's see what that AWP can do.
Yeah, it's not looking too good here for the FlushFanclub side. I mean, the previous round, you could pretty much say it was a soul-crushing round. I mean, they've had 2 of them in a row, so this is not looking too good here. But hey, look at the amount of players towards middle here. In fact, the CT side and the T side. So Fella and Fields will be getting frags. Fella again with a frag. And actually, things are falling apart here from the C side here. And actually, Stark is going to be walking into the crosshairs of Ventox. And this is actually a turnaround of its own for the CT side. FlushFanclub somehow making it work with pistols and an AWP in hand, all up to Patitek with the bomb in hand, and I have no idea what just happening here towards middle. This is just too confusing at this point.
There's been quite a few rounds that have been a bit strange at this point, but I have to see if Patitek can do anything on the B play. It seems like he's actually going to spot out the first man. That's a really nice off angle to check. Filsas is still here with the AWP though. As the flash comes through, however, he's going to be forced off the angle. Molotov coming out. Filsas holding a bit more passively now, not willing to hold aggressively into apps. And you can already see Patitek will swing out and bait the shot, so he gets on towards the site. The question becomes, does he know where Fella is positioned? And it seems like he doesn't, because Fella will just walk out into the open and deny the kill. Not quite deny the bomb plant, so that's something, at least for Venatores. And, you know, FlushFanclub, sure, they take the rounds, but I think Venatores should still just about have money for a buy themselves. However, yeah, as you were saying, you know, FlushFanclub shouldn't really have had too much of a chance in the round, but the mid stack works very, very well. And I mean, we've seen Venatores, you know, very, very consistently go towards mid. So, you know, it makes a lot of sense for FlushFanclub to just kind of stack their pistols there and just hope they can land their shots. And they do just that with getting those first kills. And now, yet again, we could have a game on our hands, Danny.
I think we do have a game in our hands right here, right now. 13-8, FlushFanclub. There seems to be a fighting chance here, but Patitek with a frag, an early frag in favor of the T-side. Wolferino replies. I think he has to realize that there's one more player. Patitek swings out with a kill, and actually, it looked like we have a game in our hands, but right now, I don't even know what to think at this point. FlushFanclub, they try to go aggressive, and they get, you know, completely shut down out of this round here. The 22nd round. And make that 14-8 at this point. And I don't think Ventox is in any position to go for this one at this point. This is looking quite horrible for the CT side. They're going to be having an economical reset at this point, and they're probably going to try to go for the force buy at this point. They just don't have enough rounds to work with.
Yeah, just as FlushFanclub gets a little bit of hope, it straight away gets snatched away from them by the Venatores guys. Ventox is going to be playing for exits, and there is at least one kill, but he goes down low. Really wants to save this rifle, but unfortunately won't be able to do so, as eventually Dark finishes him off with the single bullet he needed. And as Venatores have a 14-8 lead and not much money to play with on the Lithuanian side of things, you would have to think that Venatores would be able to close this out at some point. Looks like FlushFanclub have made the decision to force, which I think is the right call. And again, we have got, you know, this time Fella with an AWP in his hands, and we saw that previous round with just pistols alongside that AWP work out. So maybe FlushFanclub could, you know, get something going here, but it seems like they don't really have any sort of, you know, proper stack in mind. They're just going to play sort of default across the map. So they are going to rely heavily on that rifle and the AWP. But in comes the first kill. That is Fella's AWP lost. They're going to try and, I think, rotate over to recover that AWP, but you can see they're not able to do so just yet. Smoke's coming out towards mid. There's Patitek for a second kill, and that should be the A side pretty open, except for the player pushed into a ramp. So let's see if I think it's Wolferino can make a difference there, because already his teammates are just falling all across the map. In comes the flank from him for at least one kill, but it might just be too little too late, as Ventox also goes down. And again, you know, it really feels like at this point, Venatores should just be able to cruise to victory, considering the buy FlushFanclub are going to have here.
Yeah, because at this point, FlushFanclub, they've got themselves not a good buy. I mean, they probably could use at least one of their players to go for some sort of outstanding play that they might get some momentum going in their favor, but there really hasn't been that one de facto player that has been doing, you know, most of the heavy lifting for the FlushFanclub side. They've been pretty much all been playing in an even playing field, and actually they are going to be trying something more interesting. This time around, Wolferino has pushed up aggressively towards middle. He's got some backup in the form of Fields, but nothing much more interesting happening. However, towards the A-bomb side, a push is coming in here, and actually players from middle going to be rotating in quick here. Dark PSN with a frag. The AWP hasn't been able to do much, but there's Dark PSN again with another one. Wolferino with a frag, and make that two, in fact. A third one? Okay, Tetek and Patitek. Okay, make that the end. That was an interesting matchup and round in the very least, and I got mixed up in a couple of words, so to speak.
Yeah, Venatores take it. 30 bomb for Patitek. We'll be back with the second matchup, WASD versus Good Job. That's going to be a fire matchup, so make sure to stick around for that. Yeah, again, Patitek played very well here, it has to be said. He had that double AWP quite often. That worked out on the CT side, and then Venatores just get it going afterwards on the T side of things. But yeah, as I was just saying, make sure to come back for Good Job versus WASD, because I think those are two really, really strong teams we've seen recently. So we will be back with that matchup after the break.